Connie Reimers-Hild. I'm an extension educator at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Kimmel Education and Research Center, Nebraska City, Nebraska. I'm also coordinator of the I2E Club down here in Southeast Nebraska, our Inventors, Investors, and Entrepreneurs Club. And of course, our goal with I2E is to help grow our economy through entrepreneurship and innovation. And today, I'm joined by James Bowen. He's the co-founder and CIO of Five Nines Technology Group out of Lincoln. Really excited to have him, an award-winning company, great mind to really interview today so we can get some great information. So we really appreciate you being here, James. And we know at I2E, the best thing is to learn from people who have done it themselves. So what are your insights to entrepreneurship? What have you learned as you've grown Five Nines?
That covers a lot of ground. Five Nines, as with a lot of businesses that are out there, especially I think small businesses, Five Nines represents, in a sense, it's the success that we've had is directly related to a lot of hard work from a lot of people doing what they're good at. It wasn't so much from Nick or I. Well, he's more of an entrepreneur.
Okay, and who is Nick? Tell us who Nick is.
Nick is my business partner. He's
okay.
I was in the beginning. I was a self-employed consultant, just a regular engineer, regular technician out there doing a bunch of computer work. Long ways, 4 years ago.
Yeah, so long ago.
That's just how time flows. And Nick, he was the guy that actually had what I think all of you would refer to as the entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
Very outgoing, very aggressive, had a lot of vision for potential and possibilities. So Nick and I were competitors at the beginning. He had gone out of his way to actually have a real company. They had an office space, some holes in the ceiling, and a couple people that were there. And I had just me working out of my car in my house, very much like anybody would start. And Nick and I started butting heads because we were competing, and the clients that I respected also knew Nick individually, and so I started to get the feeling that this guy had a lot of integrity, and he was a good guy, which of course made it very difficult to compete against.
Of course.
So Nick and I, he started calling me and started badgering me to meet with him about trying to grow something bigger. And I kept putting him off and off and off until he finally won one of those proposals from me. And then as soon as he walked out the door, having won a bid that I was competing on, he picked up his phone, called me up, and said, "Look, I won this thing, but we shouldn't be competing in this stuff anymore." So that got me to the mill, so we could have some coffee and chat about it. And that began really my first burst of vision of what we could produce if we actually put our gifts together and try to make a bigger company out of it. And we met over very long periods of time, and eventually started this idea of the Five Nines Technology Group, which was originally supposed to be a small group of highly skilled people. And Nick and I just had this handshake deal that, well, any new business that either one of us gets, we'll go to this company. And then we still had our individual businesses that we had. He had his for a few years before, and I was going on 7 or 8 probably years of doing my own thing, so I had a significant client base built up. And within 6 months, we were doing so well with all the new stuff that we just collapsed everything back in. And then we went from there to, we started with 2.5 people, and now over 3 years later, we're on the verge of 30 people.
Wow, that's high growth.
700%, well, it was 667% or something.
Fantastic.
Landed on the Inc. 500 of the fastest growing private companies in America. And we thought that was a big deal, but nobody noticed. And then the SBA comes along and gives us their Nebraska Small Business of the Year award, and everybody noticed that.
Yeah,
so
we all noticed it.
Yeah, everybody
sure,
noticed that.
Great.
And that the SBA is an interesting thing because that represents one of the initial hurdles that a company like ours gets into, which is, it's nice to have capital to start a business. And in our kind of business, and all sorts of generically skilled businesses, where we're getting paid for what we know, intellectual property. So I can't give that to a bank as collateral. So that's where the SBA steps in and says, well, we believe in what you're trying to do. We know you don't have a lot of stuff to do it with because we didn't need it. And they make up the difference. So the bank will go ahead and give us a loan and we can start to hire people and do things. And so